Hey guys, Raven here. Today I'm very excited to share with you what is gonna be with the new patch, the best Thorn build in Diablo 4, period. And one of the best Barbarian builds. So what's the build about? As I already saw from the preview, the build is really fast. You're gonna blast through packs of mobs and just blow them out. It's a lot of fun, it has a lot of survivability thanks to the nature of what it is, the Barbarian. Lots of armor, lots of damage reduction. You will have a lot of AoE. Have also a lot of single target damage with the double swing, which will be buffed in the upcoming patch. And that is why the change. There is gonna be a radical change from the Wall of Thorns, where we used to kill our enemies by standing our ground, lots of bleeding, lots of damage over time, and kill them out with the injure status. With this build, no bleed anymore, no overtime damage anymore. It's gonna be just a one punch build. You're gonna dish out a lot of damage in a matter of few seconds and just blow them out, and that's it. So now let's talk about what's the core of it. It's what I call a detonation mechanic. It's basically a combo that we are gonna use by the double swing and the Barber. Together, they are gonna literally blow up packs of mobs, dishing out insane amount of damage. Also, we are gonna take advantage of double swing attack speed. It's a very fast skill. It's way faster than Annnnd. So we're gonna stack attack speed in our gloves. We're gonna use the accelerating aspect for our two-hander, which is gonna increase the attack speed of our core skill up to 50%, and it's gonna be insane with double swing, because now we can attack basically 2 times per second with the skill. Plus, we are gonna stack our critical strike chance wherever we can, and we are gonna also increase our critical strike damage in our weapons and in our rings. This will allow us to have extremely high attack speed, extremely high critical strike chance, and extremely high critical strike damage. So let's talk about the gear and the aspects we use for this build, because oh boy guys, there is a lot of going on with this build. There are lots of synergies that works together to make this build work. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that I released this build as soon as I could, because I wanted to give you guys a couple days, so if you wanna play this build, you will have time to collect the gear, collect the gold, so you can make your adjustment with the Paragon Boards in the skill tree, and also adjust your stats. So my gear is pretty good, but it's not by any means perfect. Since there is a lot going on in this build, we're gonna go over the gear, the aspects, and then we're gonna talk about it, how they work together, how they synergize together, and how to make the build works. So for the Helm, you want cooldown reduction, basic skill attack speed, total armor and strength, and the legendary aspect is gonna be numbing breath. We're gonna use our Razor Plate because still this is a Thorn build. We're gonna have still a lot of Thorns combined with our double swing. For your gloves, you want critical strike chance, ranks of double swing, attack speed, and strength. Legendary aspect is gonna be, in this case, the expectant. If you want, you can change this and add, instead of the expectant, the aspect of Audacity, which give us a chance to stun our enemies, and we're gonna talk about this. For your pants, you're gonna have damage reduction while fortified, damage reduction from close enemy, damage reduction while injured, and damage and total armor. And for the legendary aspect, you're gonna use might. For your boots, you wanna have movement speed for 4 seconds when killing an elite, berserking duration, and strength. And legendary aspect, we are gonna use exploiter. Why exploiter? Because this build is also very heavy in crowd control. We are gonna knock our enemies very often, I will say all the time, and also we are gonna take advantage that when they are unstoppable, we are gonna deal 30% more damage in this case, but it can be up to 40%. For your two-handed mace, you want vulnerable damage, but would be also fine damage to close enemies. Critical strike damage, you absolutely want that. Strength and all stats. Your aspects is gonna be accelerating, which is gonna increase our core skill attack speed. For our two-handed slashing weapon, you want vulnerable damage and once again damage to close enemies, that would be fine as well. Core skill damage, strength and health stats. And for the legendary, you want limitless rage. For your dual wield weapons, you're gonna use maces, and you're gonna want vulnerable damage, critical strike damage, damage to close enemies, and strength. For in this case, I have the wrong aspect because I'm testing other stuff, but for your first one-handed mace, what you want is the aspect of Retribution. For the second one, you want exactly the same stats. Our two-handed slashing weapon of choice is gonna be the two-handed axe. Why? The nerf to the critical strike damage for the two-handed sword, the implicit, it was, in my opinion, too big, and we are gonna stack a lot of critical strike damage anyway. So in my opinion, the damage to healthy enemies, the implicit for the two-handed axes, it works great for our build, because again, our build is to kill our enemies as soon as possible. So giving that strong punch at the beginning where our enemies are healthy works great for this build. For your amulet, what you want is cooldown reduction, fury cost reduction, ranks of all defensive skills, and ranks of the heavy-handed passive. For legendary, you wanna use disobedience. For your rings, you want vulnerable damage, critical strike damage, critical strike chance, resource generation. You wanna use bold chieftain for one, and echoing fury for the other one. For the gems, we are gonna use sapphire because the damage reduction I think works very good for pushing high tier nightmare dungeon. Now, if you do nightmare dungeons, there are no more than 15 levels above you, then you can switch if you want the sapphire for the emerald and increase your thorns. If you have problem in survivability because your gear is still not very good, then you can use sapphire. For your weapons, you want emerald because of course we want to increase our critical strike damage as much as possible. Now for the caged hearts, we want of course Barber. Barber needs the perfect Barber for this build. It has to be between 2 and 3 seconds because we are fast. We do a lot of damage real quick. So the faster the Barber is, the better it is, the more damage you will have. Barber works great for this build. It's one of the core synergies. Double Swing and Barber are just insane together. The amount of AoE and single target damage that you will create is just insane. For the other caged hearts, we are gonna use Punishing Speed for the Devious Heart, which is basically we are gonna knock down our enemies if our speed, in this case, is over 25%. Our speed is always way above 25%. So we have a 30% the chance, but we are so fast that is gonna knock down them so often, so much. It's actually quite ridiculous. And 1.25 seconds, another synergy, because basically we are gonna do that damage so fast that 1.25 is more than enough of a crowd control enemies to blow them out. For the other cage arts, we have Vicious Gem, which is gonna be Tempting Fate, which is gonna increase our critical strike but decrease our non-critical strike. It doesn't matter, this is a critical strike damage. So we are on top of everything, of critical strike damage increased by gear, by the Paragon, we are going to increase critical strike of another 78% on top of everything else. Absolutely insane. For the weapon expertise, we are going to use the two-handed axe expertise, which give 15% increased damage to vulnerable damage. Since we already have a lot of vulnerable damage, that would be a good choice for us. Alternatively, you can also use the one-handed sword expertise, which give 20% chance to gain 5 fury when hitting a crowd control enemy. Since we crowd control enemies all the time, that would be a good choice. The thing is that we already generate a lot of fury, so I don't think this is necessary. So unless you don't have good gear or if you're lacking of fury generation, the two-handed axe expertise is the better choice. So let's go real quick with our skill tree and our Paragon Boards. We're gonna get, of course, Lunging Strike with Combat Lunging Strike to have 1.5 second of extra berserking. Then we're gonna go here, get Double Swing, all 5 points in here, and Violent Double Swing, so we get make our enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds. Then we're gonna get Imposing Presence and Martial Vigor. We're gonna get, of course, as usual, all 3 nodes of our shouts. Then we're gonna get, of course, our Thorns, because still our build is Thorn. And we're gonna get Strategic Challenge Shout, so we gain Thorns equal to 30% of our life. Then we're gonna get our passive for our shouts, but we're gonna use only 2 points for each one of them, which they are still good, that it's fine, because we need 2 extra points for other nodes. So we're gonna get Aggressive Resistance for damage reduction with Berserking, but at the same time, with Berserking Fury generation is increased by 18%. Then we're gonna get Pit Fighter for close damage increase and at the same time distant damage reduction. We're gonna get, of course, our trusty Steel Grasp, but this time for this build we're gonna get a Warrior Steel Grasp, so we get an extra addition, a Charger Steel Grasp. For this build it works amazing. By having 3 Steel Grasp, basically we always have 1 Steel Grasp ready to go, and with our attack speed it works great. Thick Skin with Counter Offensive to have, while you have 45 or 50%, you deal with the maximum life, you deal 12% increased damage. Then we go down and we get Temperance Fury, but mostly because we want Invigorating Fury, which heal us for 9% of maximum life for each 100 Fury spent. We're gonna spend a lot of Fury. This is one of the many synergies there is in this build. Since we have so much attack speed, it means we are gonna spend so much. Combine another synergy with Unbridled Rage, because we are gonna spend 100% more Fury by increasing our core skill damage by 135%. Now with attack speed over 55%, imagine how much Fury we are gonna spend. Therefore, imagine how much life generation we have. Let's go to the Paragon board real quick. We're gonna start with Territorial for increased damage to close enemies and damage reduction. Then we go to Weapon Master and we get Martial, because it's one of the most important glyph in all Diablo builds, in all the Barbarian builds, and the 25% magic nodes increase. It's pretty insane. And then we're gonna get this one. This one is very good. It works great for our build, because our build is a one-punch build. 1-2 hits and we need to kill everything. Therefore, 16% damage to elites works great. And also 14 movement speed. It's pretty good. Plus, there is another 16% with the bonus, so it's a 32% damage to elites. Pretty nuts. So then we go here to Warbringer, and we get Exploit, because I wanna make our enemies vulnerable. Another synergy of the build, guys, right here. Legendary node Warbringer. For every 1575 Fury you spend, you gain 12% of your maximum life as 45. Again, we have so much attack speed, so the generation of our Fortify is out of this world. We go to Decimator and we get Ambidextrous, 125% bonus to all magic nodes within range, and at the same time 8% increased damage while wielding 100 weapons. We use 100 weapons for our double swing, so that works great. For this one, it's just because I had extra point I wanted to use for something, so I used for this one to get 10% vulnerable damage. Now 1 more life and more physical damage. Then we go down to Flawless Technique to get Revenge. Revenge works amazing for this build, because it grants 100% bonus to all rare nodes, so it's 4.5% plus 100%, 9% for this one, and 15%, so 30% critical strike, 30% critical strike damage with 100 weapon. Plus, look at the bonus. It's Thorn. It's for our Thorn build. So dealing Thorn's damage to every enemy, increase all damage it takes from you by 1 to up 8% for 10 seconds. it's literally made for this build. Then we get some extra critical stroke damage and physical damage, and then we finish with Carnage to get Undaunted, increase damage while fortified since we are fortified all the time, and damage reduction while we are fortified. The final notes, we get damage while berserking and damage reduction from close enemies. So how these synergies works together to make this build insane? As I said before, we want to have attack speed as much as we can. So we are gonna use this aspect, the accelerating asset, to increase our attack speed up to 50% when we critical strike with our core skill. Not only it works great for our double swing, allowing us to attack 2 times per second, but also our lunging strike. But our lunging strike becomes so fast that if you play Path of Exile, it's basically like a mini flicker strike build. You will have so much attack speed, in my case it's above 50%, that you will basically flicker when you will use your main attack, your basic attack. It's actually kind of funny. And if you use the Arsenal shrine, it gets pretty insane. I get up to 144 attack speed, which is insane. You will literally blink all over. It literally become a flicker strike build. Anyway, that being said, attack speed rolls only in your gloves, so you will always want to have also attack speed in your gloves. In this case, I'm using the expectant aspect, which increase the damage over your core skill. If you want, you can switch your expectant aspect with the aspect of Audacity. The aspect of Audacity, what it does is that when there are at least 5 close enemies, you are gonna stun them for 2 to 4 seconds, and this only apply every 20 seconds. This is gonna works great with our maces, because as I said before, crowd control it's also very important in this build. It works pretty good. So we are gonna use maces for this very reason, because when we use, as if you read in here, what it says that increase damage to stun enemies and double the amount when you use 2 maces. So it's gonna be a 20%, and also as well you're gonna get a 10% chance to increasing of 1.5 second your berserking, but we're gonna use 2 maces, so it's 20%. Also, by using the aspect of Retribution in one of your 100 maces, is gonna increase your stun chances and therefore your damage generation by using one of your 100 maces. Another important synergy in this build is by using the exploiter, because we are gonna do, first of all, we are gonna do to any unstoppable enemies 30% increased damage, and this is nutty. There is a Nightmare Dungeons role where the enemies are always unstoppable when they are the health is under 30%, and that works great. But also increase the crowd control duration by 20%, and this works great for the stun, of course, by stunning them, but also it works great with punishing speed, because it's not anymore 1.25%, but it's gonna be increased. Before you obtain optimal gear, or you're not level 100 like I am, and you wanna push really high tier Nightmare Dungeon, I'm talking Nightmare Dungeon level 90 plus, level 80 plus, and you need more survivability, what you can do is you can switch your the Razor Plate with the chest like that one, where you have damage reduction from close enemies, plus ranks on Challenging Shout, and you can either get Thorns, so you get some extra Thorns in your build, or you can switch Thorns for Strength. I also want to say that yes, this build it's not anymore focused only on Thorns, but I mean it's still a pretty good amount of Thorns. If you consider I have still 11,000 Thorns, and I'm also gonna use the Death Wish aspect to increase Thorns. So yeah, it's not like only focus on Thorns anymore, but it's still a Thorn build in essence. And now with the extra or the double swing. So why we want an item that has both strength and hull stats like this rare one, and not something like instead of having hull stats we want like this one, which in my opinion is not the best in slot, has core skill damage. Why we want whole stat? Well, the reason is pretty simple. When you go very high into the Paragon boards and the nodes start to get extremely expensive to be used, the additional bonuses. Like this one wants 520 willpower, that one wants 540 dexterity, this one as well 540, etc, etc. So you understand that if we start stacking our gear with whole stat, we can reach this very high tier rare nodes and unlock their bonus effects, and that would be extremely powerful. And that is why, if it's possible, which is not easy at all, but if you can find anything like this that has both strength and all stat, that would be very good for your build. So as you can see, guys, there is so much going on in this build. There are so many synergies, so many different combinations that works together to make this build so strong. I could talk about this build for 2 hours, but I want to make this video as short as possible. But another synergy that I want to show you is when we use our Annnnnd Wrath, which generate Fury while at maximum Fury. So when we reach that point, we have an insane amount of Fury generation thanks to our insane attack speed by using our gloves and our accelerating aspect, which allow us to cast our lunging strike and our double swing at insane speeds. By doing that, we have so much Fury that we use our limitless aspect, which increase our core skill while at maximum Fury, up to 60% buff damage from our core skill. On top of that, we are gonna use the expectant aspect, which is another extra 30%. So that's pretty insane. And as I said before, if you want, you can switch your expectant aspect with the Audacity, which increase your stun. And by using that, there is another synergy. But that's enough talking, guys. There is so much going on in that build that I could talk for an hour. But anyway, I wanna leave you with the raw footage of a Nightmare dungeon. It's gonna be a level 64, so the mobs are gonna be 118 level, and my character is 90. And yeah, if you want, I can make a short video of a speed run, how it looks like. I'm just letting you know the speed run is basically you just stomp everything that is above 15 level above you with this build. It just explodes, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, enjoy the video, and I'll see you after the video. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. I want to be honest with you, making this video, any other video, it's a labor of work and takes a lot of time to make them. So if you want to subscribe or not, I really appreciate your time and presence in here. If you enjoyed the video, that would be great if you can just like it or leave a comment in the section below. Your feedback, they are always welcome. Your engagement means a lot to me. So I'm always eager to hear your opinions, what you think about the video, what you think about the status of Diablo or the Barbarian class, whatever you wanna talk about. Also by subscribing, you're supporting the channel grow, and then very thankful to every viewer, regardless of your subscription status. I hope you guys enjoy the build, it's a lot of fun, you're gonna have a blast when the patch comes. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you now in the next video. Bye bye. And now I can go to sleep.